Alright, it's been a week that I'm playing WoW Classic. And I wanted to make a little update video to give you my impressions, my feelings, how I've experienced things as a World of Warcraft veteran playing Classic. I'm gonna give you a little bit of my background and then we're gonna get a little bit of structure. I want to talk about few points, so I have a few bullet points I want to hit. I want to talk about general gameplay, game design, how do I see things now and how I feel like they changed and over the years all the way to BFA. So pretty much how things I feel like changed, maybe or maybe not. I want to talk about dungeons, questing, and I want to talk about other players, more like community. How do I feel about it? Oh boy, it's gonna be a nice topic. So I'm gonna start with my background. I started to play WoW in 2006. There was still Vanilla. That was 1.5 years after the game was released, and roughly a year before Burning Crusade was out. I was playing a lot of different characters at the time. I was playing a warrior, a druid, a paladin, which means that I reached level 60 roughly a month before Burning Crusade was out. So I couldn't raid in Naxxramas or anything. Stop the video right now! This guy didn't raid in Naxxramas, he didn't clean it, he didn't see the opening of Ahn'Qiraj. Don't listen to him, he's not relevant! Yes, I am. Like, you know, most players who played WoW Vanilla didn't raid Naxxramas. So as I think my experience will be more relatable to what you're gonna experience right now, or at least in the beginning, or at least as most people felt during Vanilla. I played all the way to BFA, mostly in Burning Crusade when I did PV high level, so raiding a lot. Then I switched to be a bit more casual, but still playing raiding sometimes. I had in Draenor, I felt a bit more involved again, so I did raid a little bit again. But other than that, I was pretty casual to the end. So like I would say the average player with some peaks, sometimes getting really involved in something and then like meh, or this expansion don't feel it that well, and then like hey, let's go back to this one. But focusing on WoW Classic, I played mainly a druid. That was my main. I was really attracted to this class and I wanted to play it. My best friend, who started World of Warcraft day one, told me like, oh, you should pick Feral Druid, because you're gonna be able, you have the cat form and the bear form, you're gonna be able to DPS, eventually tank, even if it's not that good. You can't level up playing a healer because it's gonna be a nightmare. And let's not talk about the balance, Druid, when you have this Moonkin form, which is an aberration that should not exist. So of course I did level up as a druid balance because he told me that was awful. So I did it. I like challenges. And I really like it. I still play balanced druid often. I switch, I think every expansion I change my main. But I always come back to having a high level druid. At least one or two that I'm playing. One just like balance, one heal. And maybe sometimes I have one feral depending on the expansion that I'm playing. Yeah, but I like it a lot. I started with a warrior and I quickly discovered that was really hard to level up. So I think I stopped at level like 28 and then I went to a druid. Druid was fine, then I got bored a little bit. I think at some points it's difficult to level up, so I switched to a paladin just to refresh things, change a little bit. Wanted to have like a character was like bashing things, but not a rogue, not a warrior, so I was left with paladin since I was playing Alliance at this time. So that's pretty much my journey. I managed to get some T0 before Burning Crusade was out. I stopped playing my druid, and so I missed the opening of the portal to the Outland, so I kept on leveling, taking my time with my paladin, and then joining Burning Crusade at that moment. So actually, in preparing this video, I went back into old carton boxes of CDs that I have, and I found my World of Warcraft retail version physical one, because that's the only thing that existed at the time. And it's awesome. Look at this thing. I remember now, like, this is 5 CDs. 5 freaking CDs. I remember installing it. Took me 4 hours on my computer. And I was like so excited and wanted to play the game so much. It's, by the way, it's story time with Dr. 5. I was looking at the bar, installing each CD, and I sat in front of my computer staring at the screen with excitement for 4 hours. Until in the evening, I realized that I had 1 year of update to install on my computer. And I was like, okay, alright, I'm gonna play tomorrow. That was a good time. I was like, guys, tonight I'm creating my character. Let's go together. Like, come on, do a role with me. Let's play together. And no, it didn't happen. It happened the day after, but that was fun. That was fun. So much excitement. I also have the manual of the game, and I put my finger here because my game key is behind my finger. So that's why I kept this little boy here. It's 190 pages, and actually everything is in there. That's crazy. Like, all the way to your classes, how to play them, how to create a guild. There is even some cringe stuff. There's a glossary where they explain you some of the terms used. LOL, laughing out loud. Yes, it was 2004. Honorable mention, that's something I really want to share with you. Newbie. Also noob, newbie, equal new. Every player that's discovering the game. Sometimes shortened to noob. Some players, not all players, some players will consider this term as negative. Some players. Noob. Yeah, I'm a noob. Yeah, there is some funny things, like also some like old definitions, like mob, mobile object. Every character controlled by the computer, whether it's old style or not. In fact, players use mob generally as an abbreviation for monster. So I never thought that mob was mobile object, and that in the beginning was also like non-playing NPCs were also mob. Never thought about that. That's funny to see those old stuff. I'm really impressed by the quality of the manual at the time. There is some actually, let me show you. Well, you won't see it really clearly, but there is some really nice artwork that they show you, like some concept art and stuff in the manual. From that time, that was pretty cool. You see some sketches of like, oh, it's skeletons, and then you see how they look like in the game and stuff like this. That's really impressive. You also have those like screenshots that like look like something you will do in a PowerPoint. And like crappy screenshots showing you stuff, and like everywhere. That's really well detailed. I had a friend who explained me everything, but if you wanted to play the game, I think you had really to read this, and then you will be able to play like really good. That's really detailed. We don't have those things anymore, so that's really fun to have a look at it. I think you can download a version of it now. When you go on the World of Warcraft Classic, you have a download manual. I think they made a PDF version or edited this one, something like this. I hope so. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So now let's dive into WoW Classic. After a week of playing it, I want to tackle those 4 aspects, and we're gonna start with gameplay and game design. I heard a lot about how I was supposed to feel when I was gonna play the game again. People have all really made up their mind already on how it's gonna be to re-experience. Like, it's not gonna be like you remember, or it's gonna be much harder, or like if you never experienced it, it's gonna be a nightmare for you. Lucky for me, I'm playing with some friends, so we're playing at like 3 or 4 depending on the days with our main character, and I also have another character that I'm playing by myself. So alone I'm playing a hunter because I'm lazy, and that's really easy to level up when you're alone. And when I'm playing with my friends, I'm playing a mage, frost mage. Um, and I'm gonna be honest, I think my memory is still good. I have some friends asking me about some gameplay tips, or like how you should build your druid. For example, I have a friend asking me like, hey, where should I put my talent points? The class that I used to play in WoW Vanilla, I remember it pretty well. I used to like, oh, you should get this spell by around this level. You should put your talents in that part here and then switch here. And then like, I remember things pretty clearly, and I think I'm really surprised, to be honest, how good I remember the class that I played. But yeah, if you do your slash played after a year playing like 1 or 2 characters, you're like, whoa. So that's, I think that's something you have to expect, to remember so many things. What I was surprised is how the class that I never played, like Mage, I was so shocked about all the spells I had no idea existed. I'm like, what? You can make mana gems with your mage that like can restore your mana? That's insane! Or like, what? You get only the portals to Darnassus level 30? But the other one, you get them like level 20, the teleportation? Sorry, so like you can teleport to Ironforge and Stormwind level 20, but Darnassus you have to wait until you're level 30. That's strange, I don't remember that. Detect magic? What is that spell? So, it's so nice to pick a class that I haven't played because I'm discovering so many things, and I was not doing PvP before. Since I was just leveling up, pretty much, and doing some dungeon to get a little bit of stuff. So, I didn't know that much the other classes, so like I'm discovering classes like completely new. That's really exciting. But all the classes that I played, like warrior, paladin, druid, like no problem, it's super easy. Hunter also, I had a pretty good idea because I was playing with a friend. I was playing a hunter, so he was like talking to me about his class a little bit. So yeah, that was pretty surprising. I'm not really shocked by anything about the mechanics. Yeah, it's like what I expected, what I remember. Getting your ranks on your spells, getting spells every 2 level pretty much almost. Yeah, your talents. What I can talk about maybe is the leveling up, the experience you gain. I'm actually surprised that it's not as hard as I remember. I feel it easier to level up. I feel it takes less time. I'm much more efficient, and I'm gonna talk about it in the questing and the dungeon part, but I don't feel that there... maybe there's 1 or 2 changes that I'm like, was it really in there? I would say, but that's not that bad in general. I feel like it's still robust. I feel still you can still enjoy it, no problem. I think the game was well rounded already in the game design and the way the spells work. Find a little bit weird stuff with skills that I feel a bit weird about some of them. Yeah, like you have your defense skill, your skill you can up, and you have some skills that when you up level they immediately full. Like for example your if you're mage, your frost and fire, they already like... So I feel that was like a bit of strange design at the time, like just don't put it then, it would be easier. But yeah, that was nothing big here. Now I would like to talk a little bit about dungeons. I've done some dungeons. So far with my main character, I reached around level 25, I think. My other character is level 12. My hunter, match 25. I didn't play like hardcore, okay? I played every night, few hours with some friends, a little bit alone on the weekend. I did dungeons, like I did the Den Mines and the Stockage prison, we call it. The Stockage, I think it's called. That's all I did. That's the 2 dungeons I did. And several times each, of course, so far. And my surprises are... the first time I entered, I was like, I don't have to keep that mindset that I have right now, that like you enter and like tank, get the guys full AoE, bam, and you switch. I'm like, yeah, we have to ship, we have to, you know, to get some control. I'm a mage, I can ship 1 guy and then we can do like a single target and that will be fine. And we just enter, we start the Dead Mines. one guy, okay, just like then we get, oh, I ship one, we get one, you feel a bit more comfortable. Third pack, okay, let's take 2 guys at the same time and then ship another one. First boss down, and then you're like, yeah, that's going pretty well. Hey, you know, why don't you just take 4, 5 guys and let's make it rolling. It's going well. Let's go. And then you do your first AoE and you immediately take the aggro from all the mobs around, and you group wipe, and you're like, alright, yes, yeah, we're gonna stick to 1 or 2 targets, and we're gonna stay on single target because that's not gonna work out. Especially in the beginning. Now that I'm in mid-20s, I can start to AoE and the tank can keep the aggro. I'm playing with Paladin as a tank, and now we can just, now that he has Consecration and it has generate a little bit more of aggro, that starts to be okay, but still the mob are not going down really fast. And if I have a group when the 2 other DPS are single target, then we don't need to AoE. We just go single target and it's gonna be much faster than doing AoE. It's gonna be easier for the tank, it's gonna be easier for the healer. So I was a bit surprised. Like I really switched. It was like from really easy to like wild. That's pretty much how it went first in the beginning, and then we got it rolling. The strat on the boss are still okay. We use some exploit, like for example on Van Clean. You have to clean it the first time because it was hitting too hard. We were like, it was like red for us the first time we went in. So we just went on the wheel next to the boat, if you remember. You just leave the tank down and all the DPS are on the wheel, and you just like can... You know that the tank is gonna be focused, the healer is also on the wheel, so the heal just have to like just try to keep the tank alive, and we just focus Van Cleef and we let the HAD hit him or like just get bugged somewhere. That's how we did it the first time. Then when we were a bit more comfortable, we could do it like normally. I'm surprised that I thought Macaron, I think it's the Murloc in the Dead Mines. I don't remember doing it in Vanilla. I never did it in Vanilla. It's when they have redone the dungeons that are... I thought they had it. A boss, actually. So I'm like, I always skipped it and I never knew it was here. So now that I'm back, I see sometimes some like, oh, here, and they're like, oh, now that's a quest mob, and like, oh, that's this and here. That's really funny how it's done. Regarding the difficulty in general, I would say it's easy. I was expecting something much harder. In my memories, it was like hard, but I see how much I evolved. My rotation are much better. I can my DPS is much higher than it used to be, like easily with any class, because I've been playing for what, 12, 13 years, something like this. So yeah, I went from like my first MMO to like now, yeah, I've done some red in high level before any nerfs or anything, so like, yeah, that's complete now. Even the dungeon, it's not as hard as I remember. Just have to be careful with your aggro in the beginning, and then that's fine. I think that's pretty much all for dungeon. Good surprises, really fun to go back there and rediscover, like, oh yeah, oh, I forgot, this boss now is replaced by this and this. That was really interesting to have this aspect. Now regarding questing is not as boring as I remember. I was in my head, I picture much more FedEx quest, you know, like take this and go here.
It's too far away.
And then this guy tell me, yeah, no, actually you need to go back there, and or you go back here. Yeah, you have a lot of mob killing quest. You still have some escorts, which I didn't remember there was that many in WoW Classic. That's interesting. I remember all the quests in the first zones. That's crazy. Maybe because they didn't change until Cataclysm for most of them, but like I can go probably like level 30 without like thinking about like, oh, where is there a quest here or here. I leveled up so many characters that I remember all of them by heart, and I have really few surprises. What was trouble for me was when I started to go to... Damn, I don't remember. here, actually. Yeah, so that was Red Ridge Mountains. That actually changed a lot. And I completely forget about some of the quests here, but most of it I think, not all of them, but like one or two that I probably never did because they were like quests with Elite, and when I was playing alone I never did those, so that's probably why. But not that surprising otherwise. I can just like streamline most of the game, I think, by memory. So that's a happy surprise. It's not that hard. There is more diversity than I remember. It's not as boring so far, because maybe there's also the nostalgic effect, like, oh, I remember, like, it was so troublesome here, or I had a good time here. Just sometimes I'm a bit surprised about the landscape. Like, I went into Darkshore with a character, and I didn't remember that there was like this huge skeleton with this like giant sword there, and I didn't remember this, and I was like, I spent so much time questing there. But that's just part of the landscape, not the quests. Yeah, that also was a good point, I think, and good memories here and there, and it's going well. Questing in group is awful. Oh my god, the drop rates. That was totally expected, but so many quests when you have to, like, oh, loot that many Murloc fins and stuff like this, and you're like, oh, we are free, it's gonna take like 2 hours. Because the servers are overpopulated and there is 12,000 people in my area, and like every Murloc is instantly tagged because we are 100 waiting for the mobs to pop in. I've seen those pictures online when you see like guys making a line just, you know, to do the quest and stuff, like really hoarded. That was really funny, but that's definitely not what happened on my server. I don't know which server you were, but I won your server because like on mine it's like hell. It's like it's like Doom, everyone for himself, like only the Doomslayer survive. It's like, it's crazy. It's like, if people could like make anything to get the mob or the quest before you, they will do it. But yeah, questing overall, great when you're alone. When you were several people, that awful. What I suggest to do and what I started to do is like to switch from zone to zone. So for example, we do Red Ridge Mountain, then we will go to the Paloons, the wetlands, yeah. So for example, we do Red Ridge Mountain, and then we'll do wetlands. And then you go from one another doing the quest. I found that in Kalimdor, as Alliance, there's much less people, at least on my server, so it's comfortable when you're playing alone to go there, or even in groups maybe to not be bothered when there is too many people. Otherwise, yeah, sometimes you just have to skip a quest because you know you're never gonna get all those Murloc fins. Because people are be waiting for 2 days here non-stop and they're like shaking in front of the computer like, one more, I can finish the quest. And you know they will never get it, but anyway. So just don't wait for hours, or just wait 1 month and then start to play the game. It's gonna be much better. Now let's talk about players, interaction with other people. I think, yeah, it changed. Of course, it's not the same, but at the same time, it's the beginning. So servers are overcrowded. There are a lot of people everywhere. You have to fight for mobs. So the like helping each others is rare. There's a lot of competition because, of course, it's so hard. Like you have like 2 groups of 3 for quests, like you can't group them. So like it's gonna be one group against another. It's not like, yeah, we're just, you can't work that way. So it's a bit everyone for himself, you know. There's no like really helping people. I sometimes when we can, for example in my group when we play, is like every time there is no loot quest, we invite people so they can get the rare guy, the quest guy to kill, or they can come and do the quest with elite mobs that they would not be able to do alone. That we do. But when it's the case of the Murloc fins and we're gonna spend an hour, if we invite another guy, it's gonna be an hour and 15 minutes. So it's like, yeah, sorry dude, but yeah, right now it's a bit too hard. But it's good. I see some people helping. I had some people help us, for example, in the group. or we're also sometimes helping people when we pass next to a guy and is like, you know, hitting a mob and he's having difficulty sometimes, like, yeah, a quick heal, or we just pop out some instant spell damages to help the guys, you know, some things like this. Sometimes I just trade water to some random guys waiting next to me and stuff like this. And I've seen some people doing it, like buffing you. A lot of people buff each other, so that's pretty good. But yeah, the problem that creates a little bit of tension is the mobs. Even though you clearly see that there is an increase in spawn rates when you have a lot of people around, it's still a little bit tense there. Regarding finding people for dungeon, I have mostly had good experience. I had some people that were like just like joining and everything goes well, you do a boss, they got the loot and they leave. And that never happened, or really rarely before. Like, even if you got what you wanted, you would stay until the end. I mean, at least that's what I was doing in a dungeon, not just like, ah, good, I'm like, goodbye now, like, just go look for 15 minutes to find someone else to replace me, or just try to finish the dungeon with 4 people instead of 5. Bye. Yeah, so that's troublesome. I have no problem finding groups because, yeah, I play with a tank and a healer. I'm the DPS, so we just have to fill 2 slots. Sometimes we have another friend joining, so we are 4 and we do dungeon at 4. That's no problem. Actually, I feel like now it takes a little bit more time, of course, because you have 1 less DPS, but like, for example, the Dead Mines, we're able to clear it without any issues, being 4 players, we're still having the boss being like 2-3 level on top of us. So that's really no issue. People in general are nice. I see people asking questions, people answering. I feel like the atmosphere is less toxic than it would be in BFA. Now I don't have any interaction in war retail with other people. I don't want to have any interaction with people. I've been so fed up with it. That's awful. Like, it's really toxic. I really don't like it. I just prefer to play alone or with my friends, but not like playing with other people. That's like random people. That's how I feel, because it's always end bad, and like you know, you got like kicked for no reason, or people get kicked for no reason, and then like people like yell at each other and stuff like this. That's really, and here it's much better. I feel some people whisper to me, to asking me some questions, and I know that if I see a guy and I ask politely, like, oh dude, do you know how to do this? I know he will remember. He will just answer me nicely. If I ask nicely, they will answer. They will be happy to help if they know. And now I wouldn't even whisper someone in retail. I'm not like, no way. Here I'm like, yeah, I'll just like just, hey, whisper to the guy quickly. I don't have to look online, because it's like sometimes a bit more difficult to find some things online on WoW Classic. So you can have like, yeah, just where is this? And then poof, they tell you. Perfect, nice. Thanks, mate. And everything is alright. That's good. I feel that the atmosphere is better now, and I enjoy it a little bit more playing alone. And I don't know, I feel like also more, that's strange, because being in an atmosphere like this, I feel more inclined to help people. Like, I don't mind, like, oh, can you help me kill this guy? I already killed him. Ah, okay, why not? Quickly, let's go. Now, I don't think anyone would like even ask me, or I don't know if I would be like, I completely removed the chat window, to be honest, so I don't even look at anything now, so I wouldn't see if someone whispered to me. Yeah, that's sad. But yeah, player interactions, the community of players, good. It's getting better. I like it, and I think it's gonna get even better when there will be less tension, because people will be more spread out, and there will be less quest. I just can tell you one thing: don't go in Stranglerons right now. What is it called? Stranglethorn. Yeah, don't go there. Just forget about this place. Yeah. This is a cutthroat. This is hopeful. I have one friend who's going there. He's a bit ahead of me with another character, because he has more time to play, and it's awful there. Just forget about it. So 1 week of playing WoW Classic. How do I feel about it? I feel pretty good. I like the game. I enjoy it. I'm not that much surprised. I think it's easier, actually, than what I would have expected. People said it would be like hard, it would be boring, and actually I don't feel like it so far. After, I don't know how much I have. I mean, yeah, maybe I have like 35 hours on my main character. I'm perfectly fine. That's perfectly good. It's easier. It's much easier. Because I know how to DPS, I know how to optimize my my quests. I have add-ons to help me. I know you should not use them or whatever, but I don't have a problem using them. Because I would be like I did in WoW Classic, going online and looking for information for some time. Now I'm just like, yeah, okay, yeah, good. It's the mob is here. I don't have to spend like 5-10 minutes looking like, okay, where is this mob? That's just saving some time. So I have no shame about using Questy or any other add-on like this. So yeah, that's really easier, really good time. Playing with friends who played WoW Classic with me, it's amazing. It's like a trip back in old time. Is like, oh yes, you remember this, and yeah, oh we used to do this, do you remember? We used to come here and stuff like this, like we used to gank people here. Like, oh, do you remember the time that like level 60 Warlock Orc came here and like killed us for like 15 minutes? Oh, Red Ridge Mountains, they were just coming out of the village to kill us. Yeah, that's so fun to have friends that you can like remember your experience you had together, like nostalgia, like flowing through your body. Oh, it's so good. Really loved it. I think that's all. I think I will give maybe an update later on. I know that my friend that who plays a lot now is facing some difficulties around level 35 to 40. I think he has like this downtime when he's like, I can't go to Stranglethorn because I'm gonna get like just killed all the time because I'm alone. So I have to find other places to quest, and then it's like, it's a bit boring, it's take more time because I know those zone less and etc. So yeah, I think when I will have those times, maybe I will make another update, maybe a 1 month update. That can be nice. A year update. That would be cool. My first raid, I hope I will have the opportunity, but probably have you seen now, some people already cleared Molten Core in less than a week. So I'm pretty sure I will be able to do it without too much problem. There was like some guys who were not 60. I guess I'm gonna get 60, I'm gonna get some blue stuff. I'm gonna get the access to Molten Core done. And here you go. Fine. Onyxia, bam. I think they're gonna all fall down. It's not gonna be too hard. At least Onyxia, it's not a 40-man raid, so I think it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna have my experience that I didn't get at the time because I took too much time to learn the game and to play, to upload all my characters, and I was not interested in this. But now I think I'm gonna do it. Casual, I think it's gonna be alright. I think you're not gonna be to be like super opti to be able to down things. I think I'm gonna enjoy it. So I will keep you updated, if, of course, if you guys are interested and if you guys want more.